You know, if there is one story in the Bible that best sums up the human journey into forgetfulness, it's the story of the prodigal son. And he went away into a far land is the allegory of our going away into the distant land of forgetfulness. That means our journey here, taking on the flesh and blood of a human existence. And this earth life represents the stage of where he eats with the pigs. He's so hungry because in his forgetting, he thinks himself to be a beggar. And then he comes a little bit to his senses. He remembers a little bit he remembers his father, he remembers his origin. And that's what the awakening to consciousness right now in the Aquarian age is all about. We are beginning to remember our origin, the Father's house. And we're going to return to our original inheritance as the divine. But a lot of people, Christians in particular, have trouble fully embracing the awareness that they are God. And they kind of treat it like the son, that when he saw his father, he said, "Forgive me, and I'm not worthy to be your son. Make me as one of your servants," right? Christians are like that. They're not quite brave enough to embrace the DNA of God. That divinity, source, God consciousness, the I am state is your birthright. But they put on this humble act of wanting to be as one of the servants, which is still separation. You're still plagued by a little bit of separation mentality. You still can't quite believe that you are of that divine DNA. You are of the loins of your Father or Source God. So many of them will be contented with being a servant, being a son or a daughter, but not the divine source consciousness. But it's the DNA that determines who you are. The spiritual DNA makes you a divine one. Not a servant, not an adopted son or daughter. You have royal blood flowing in your veins. Spiritual identity, divine identity. And you can embrace your I amness. You can embrace the identity of God for yourself. But I do know that There are many subconscious factors that make us act like the prodigal son, that make us want to be a servant, because we do not feel worthy. Those are remnants of our forgetfulness. We're not quite there in the full recognition of who and what we really are. So, but as you know from the story, the father wouldn't have any of it. He got the royal treatment. He got the royal treatment that only a God would be worthy of. So as you come into your remembrance, remember also the story of the prodigal son. And do not give in to the feeling of unworthiness. See those stories, if we don't know what those stories mean, they do program us even to think that humility is a virtue, which it is not in this particular application. So don't be afraid to own your birthright as a divine one. You are a divine being in a human body. The Word made flesh, just like Jesus. You're exactly the same as Jesus. And when you leave this body, you will be exactly the same as the Spirit of Jesus is now. There is no separation. There is no distinction. We're all one. The consciousness is all one at the higher level.